wanted to talk to you about the Chapter 4 threaded discussion. I know it's taken me a little while to get this video posted for you, but I really wanted to read through everything on the discussion board. Chapter 4 is such an important chapter in this book, and I think you're realizing that, or did realize that, through your discussion. So let me bring up a couple of the big main points for this and talk about that for a little bit. And I think you realized that probably the main point of Chapter 4 was stressing the time aspect of teaching online. And I hope that through reading Chapter 4 and through seeing the things that I do in this course, that it does take an extended amount of time to teach an online course. And I even saw a little discussion in there regarding pay for online instructors, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But let me get back to time. So it does take more time to teach an online course, and I think you can figure out why, because everything's written down. We can speak and hear a lot quicker than we can read and write. And then just taking everything that we do in the classroom, just think about the little tiny things that you do in the classroom, even just, you know, questioning students, having a conversation with them, things like that, that you would normally do in the classroom without thinking about it. Now try to translate that into online. It's very difficult to make that transition sometimes. Some people have a very hard time doing that, and they don't succeed as online instructors because they don't understand the time commitment, or they're not willing to make the time commitment to teaching online. And I think that's why it's very important that we have adequate training for online teachers so that they understand this time commitment and what is required of them to teach a good online class. The other thing is with the cost. You'll see conflicting things out there about it costs less to do an online class, it costs more to do an online class, and it really kind of varies. On average, I would say it probably costs a little bit more up front to do an online class, just because of the technology that's behind it and the training that's required for instructors. But once you get an online program up and running, I think over time the cost aspect starts to come down, because now you have the technology in place, you have people trained, they understand how to use the technology. So yes, up front I think the cost is higher. But as you start to go on with the program, I think the cost starts to come down. So higher cost up front, lower cost as we go on. Another aspect was administration. You have to have somebody who understands the system and can administrate the system very well. And that is not a teacher. You do not want a teacher to do that. You want somebody dedicated to Blackboard or eCollege or Moodle or whatever you happen to be using. You want somebody who understands that system very well, understands how to troubleshoot it, understands how to fix it. And actually, I just said that you shouldn't have a teacher do that, but that's actually my job at the university. I am the Blackboard administrator at the university. But just keep in mind, that's my full-time job. I'm the director of the Educational Technology Center, and I'm also the administrator for the Blackboard system. Teaching is my part-time job. I love it. I love both of them together, but the director part is my full-time job. The other aspect that was brought up, and probably brought up very wisely, was the difference between asynchronous and synchronous discussion. Asynchronous discussion, as you've already known, is discussion that happens, interaction that happens, same place but different time. Synchronous discussion is same place, same time. That would be your face-to-face instruction, or by using some piece of technology to make that happen, same place, same time. We have that technology here at the university. It's called Wimba Classroom. And I've been considering maybe using that for one of the weeks, and I'd like to put that question out to you, is would you like to see one synchronous session for this class? Usually I do not do synchronous sessions for an online class because it takes that convenience factor away from you. But I'm willing to try it once if that's something you guys might be interested in. So in your threaded discussion this week, I'm going to put an extra forum up there, and I'd like you, or actually no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a poll up there. And if you could just answer the poll question, yes or no, I'd like to see if you're interested in doing a synchronous discussion. And I'll go with whatever the class decides. And we'll put something together and have a little synchronous discussion if that's what you decide you want to do. So the last point I wanted to touch on was this thought about group projects. And this is another thing that I usually don't do in online classes. And this is one place where you'll actually see me differ from Paloff and Pratt and also from Mayroff, is both of them are kind of big advocates on group project because they think it kind of gives the class a cohesion. And that's something I don't really agree with. I've never been a big proponent of group work, just because I just don't like the concept of group work. I know in certain circumstances it works very well, and I know in the real world you have to do group work all the time on teams, but for academic things, I think that it's usually much better if you're working solo, because then I get to see what you really understand and not what the group came up with. And I think for this, I think it's much more important to see what you understand. But again, I'm willing to try a group project if that's what you guys want to do. So I'll actually put a second poll up this week asking about group projects. So make sure you answer both of those polls. And again, I'll do with whatever you guys decide. So that's my response to the week 2 threaded discussion. One other thing I wanted to point out is that I think you guys are doing so great on the threaded discussions. This is actually one of the best classes I've had as far as threaded discussions. I can really see a cohesion in the class, and I can really see that you guys are understanding each other, respectful of each other, and really value the opinions of the other students in class. And that makes me feel really good. It makes me realize that I'm doing my job well, which was my main goal. You know, if I wasn't trying to do this well, I wouldn't do it. So thank you for that. And so I will post another threaded discussion response for Chapter 5 as soon as we get through this week. And as always, if you have any questions, send me an email, give me a call, stop down to the Franklin Center and see me, whatever you need. Talk to you later.